How's it going, everybody? It's the Razman coming at you here with another episode, and today I'm very excited to bring you a brand new showcase video, one that I was not expecting to be able to do. But when I saw this in the Amazon deal of the day 2 days ago for only $44, and knowing that I had $10 in Amazon gift card money, I could not pass it up in the least. One of my all-time favorite shows. So as you can see today, we're going to be taking a look at Glee, the complete series, showcasing it on the Razman's reality. Alright, so obviously here's your front. There is the top, which is the same as the label on the front. Here's the spine, same deal. Then here is the nice monolith of all the characters on the back. I will show you what the original backing looked like for those of you that are curious about it here in a second. And then the DVDs, because unfortunately this is Fox we're talking about, and they always cheapen us a little bit on home video releases. Although if How I Met Your Mother is any indication, I expect this to be the best DVD could ever look and still be quite worth having. But there's how the set slides out on the left hand side there. So as you can probably tell, sorry, didn't realize my body was sliding there as I was talking. As you can probably tell by the size of my tray here, we're going to have to utilize a lot of cuts in this episode, so I'm going to go over, slide the series out. Well, actually I'll go over, grab the backing, then slide the series out, show you how it's encased, and then we'll take a look at each of the seasons individually. So here's what the original backing was. As you can see, it's already a little bit crinkled from where I took it off the back, and there's no point in keeping the backings because they're just going to come off of nice sets like this anyway. And the only backing that I've ever saved is my Batman. I have that encased inside of a frame, which is showcasing something else that I have, which is a puzzle my uncle made me. And the only reason I saved that backing is because of how historic it was to have that release and how long we've been waiting and how much we never thought we would see it. But for something like this, I don't really need it because it just tells you what's inside. But I know some people are curious, so that is what it looks like. And of course, if you have the Alexis library, if you're lucky enough to have a Mac and have that, I've been looking for a Windows alternative. Haven't found one yet. Thought I found one earlier, but it didn't work. But anyway, my point is, if you have that, here is where your barcode would be for you to scan. So make sure that you scan your barcode before you actually remove your backing. Alrighty, so as you slide the slipcover off, this is what you get inside Glee the Complete Series box, and your keep cases are inside like so. So now let's take a look at them. We have Glee, the complete first season, and this is how the set came. It's just the individual season sets in one nice keepgate box. I know a lot of people on Amazon were complaining about that. They wanted exclusive packaging, but you're not always going to get exclusive packaging. And to be honest, as the case slides there, sorry about that, to be honest, for people like me, this is actually the much preferred way that I like complete series is to come, because it makes them not heavy and not hard to manage physically on your own. The longest part of this was before I ever turned the camera on, which was taking the cellophane off and getting the label stickers off each of the individual cases. And then there was a small snafu with season 2, which I'll show you in a second. But yes, here's your front and here's your back. Now, you may hear some background noise. I sincerely apologize. A family member just jumped in the shower, and the Yeti is really powerful, and sometimes it picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. So I apologize. I will do my best to continue to be your noise focal point here. And then we have disc 1, which is Miss Pillsbury, and Will's first wife. And disc 2, which is Will and Sue. Disc 2, which is Santana and Finn. And disc 3, which is Gwen and Puck. My apologies, those of course were actually disc 3 and 4, but disc 5 is Kurt and Mercedes, and disc 6 is Hardy and Tina. And here we have Glee, the complete second season. There is your front. And here is your back. Now what happened was, unfortunately, when I went to open these, and the nice thing about the way they did these was they knew the complete series box itself was going to be sealed with cellophane, so they didn't actually individually wrap these, but they did have those annoying security stickers at the top. Well, only with season 2, but unfortunately that's enough, but only with season 2 the sticker caught enough as I was trying to open it, because as you know, you can't get them off before you actually break the seal on them, because they're not standing tall enough to rip off. The hub, the bottom half of the hub that separates the trays, the flipper trays on the inside, broke off. So I just had to gently place the disc inside the case here, as you'll see. And before we get into looking at these discs, I did forget to mention, I just had it pop back into my head that each individual season did come with inserts, but seasons 1 through 5, as you'll see, had disc 1 behind the inserts, and all the inserts of course are now irrelevant anyway since the show is over, except for what is advertising the soundtracks, which do still exist, so I didn't see a need to keep them, especially when I knew I was going to be doing this showcase video in an effort to save time. But if you do get this and you see those inserts and you're like, Raz didn't say or didn't show those inserts, that's why. So there's disc 2. There's disc 3. There's disc 4. And there's disc 5. And so moving on, of course, we have Glee, the complete third season. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but you might be able to see a slight ding at the top of the case. Don't worry, that is not more damage to the casing. That is me trying to get the bottom layer of the annoying security sticker off and realizing that I couldn't without actually affecting the artwork and making it look bumpy. The artwork itself is still intact, but now the case looks bumpy, and that's why I really hate those security stickers. It's just an incredibly annoying invention of this country. No other country has it, and it's completely unnecessary and prevents nothing as far as theft is concerned. But I digress. There's your front. And there's your back. And here is disc 1 and disc 2. I'm a big fan of how they did these because as you can see, it's nice inner artwork throughout all of the casing. Each of the discs have different artwork, like season 1 was the characters, season 2 was the umbrella all throughout, and then this season is all of the graduation type showcase photos. There, of course, is disc 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. The complete 4th season, which is where a lot of people think that the show started going downhill. I completely disagree. I thought it was great all the way until the end, and I really love the inclusion of New York in the show because it just made sense that you'd want to see them succeed outside of the classroom and succeed in the careers and music that they had chosen. So there's the front. And of course the back. And as you may have been able to gather from what we've seen so far, the theme of this disc card is the travel because of Lima and New York. So there's disc 1 and 2. Disc 3 and 4. And 5 and 6. The complete 5th season, here's your front. Of course, this is a season that a lot of people thought the show would have ended on had it not been for the unfortunate death of Corey Monteith, who played Finn Hudson. But if it's the case, if they changed the original plan for season 6, if they created a season 6 to come up with a new ending, I think it's a much better ending. Of course, you don't want a main character to die, and everybody still wants a main character there, and it was very, very sad to not have Finn there. But the actual way the final episode, what we learn in the final episode, the second hour of the final episode, the first hour, of course, is flashbacks, but what we learn in the second hour of the final episode about the fate of McKinley and what happens to McKinley, I just think it's a much better ending. But I'm not going to say any more than that for anybody that hasn't ever seen this show or hasn't yet seen the final season. But yes, let's open season 5, shall we, before we get ahead of ourselves. Now here, even though the backings are still intact, unfortunately they did get a little lazy with the disc art. It's just different color Glee on each disc, and it says the disc number, so 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. I gotta say, this is very sturdy packaging, what happened to season 2 aside, because I straightened all these out in preparation for doing this filming, and all of my discs have remained straight. I haven't had to adjust any of them as I'm making these cuts, so I'm a big fan of that. And then finally, of course, you have the complete 6th season, which they just called the final season in this case. So here's your front and your back. This one, of course, the shortest one of all of them, so there's not going to be as many discs to look at. Disc 1, 2 and 3, and 4, which is all you need for a 13 episode season. And so there you have it. That is Glee, the complete series. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this show. I don't know what I would have done in my life without music. Music is such a part of who I am, as all of you may have already known or learned more recently through my support of one of my very good friends, Alexis Gomez. Music is such a part of who I am, and that's why I love this show, because this show not only showcases the importance of continuing music in schools and appreciating the arts and all things creative, which YouTube itself is creativity. It's all creativity and all artwork, in my opinion. but it also teaches and preaches the value of being accepted for who you are. Some people say that this show is too much about a certain agenda, but that's not the case. You can choose to live your life any way you want to live it. When you get to heaven, it'll be God's choice to tell you whether you were right or whether you were wrong. This show is just about being accepted for who you are, inside and out. And for me, knowing what of a struggle that is, and knowing that sometimes there's people who say they accept you and they really don't, that's why this show has such a powerful impact on me. So very, very happy to finally own it. Glad that I didn't break down and get the individual seasons, because even though these were just the individual seasons inside one box, it does save shelf space. That's a tongue twister. And it does look very nice as a showcase piece, and did present a very good opportunity for a video. So, as always, if you liked what you saw here today, please subscribe, because I would love to see you again. And as always, this is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase. Oh, I almost forgot, didn't I? Don't forget to like and share as well, because those always help with views. And now, as always, this is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.